Hey, it's Nathan Williams with Crazy Marketing. In this video, we have a full YouTube ads tutorial to take you from beginner to expert all in one video. So obviously this is going to be kind of a long video, but I'm going to include timestamps down in the description below. So if you want to jump ahead or anything like that, by all means, go ahead and do that. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, I assume that you already have a YouTube channel and a Google Ads account. If you don't have a YouTube channel, I have a video on that down below. You can check it out. Google Ads is pretty easy to set up. You just go to Google Ads and register basically. So pretty simple stuff here. Also, I want to point out that there are a lot of nuances between Google/YouTube ads. And if you didn't know already, Google owns YouTube. So I might use Google and YouTube interchangeably, but they're the same thing. Google, you set up YouTube ads within Google Ads platform, okay? So anyway, if I don't cover something enough in detail in this video, please look at my other videos or ask questions. So again, there's a lot of objectives or options or placements and targeting options and features that you could go ahead and poke around in. And if I went through every single one of them in this video would be 6 hours long, which would be way too long. But if you have questions, ask them below. Here to help you out. And this is kind of the outline of this video. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and connect YouTube and Google Ads together so that way we can track our results and run our ads and all that type of stuff. So an important thing to do. Then we're going to talk about adding the pixel to our website so that way we can go ahead and track our conversions, track our traffic, track all that type of stuff. Now there's a bunch of different ways you could add a pixel to your website. In this particular video, I'm going to show you how to hard code it into your website. So basically you're going to grab the code that Google Ads gives you and put it in the header and like the footer of your website, and we'll walk through that real quick together. But of course there's other ways to do it. For example, if you have WordPress, you can get a WordPress plugin. Personally, I use Pixel Your Site to do it. Now there's probably other WordPress plugins out there that do it as well, or you can also hard code it into a WordPress website. Also, I imagine if you have like Shopify or anything like that, there's going to be plugins or add-ons or whatever to add the Google Ads pixel to your website. So there's plenty of different ways to do it. I think if you understand the hard code method, then the other ways, are pretty easy to do. But yeah, anyway, Pixel Your Site, it is a paid plugin. I think it's like $150 or something, so it's kind of expensive, but it does work with Facebook, your Facebook pixel, Google Ads, or Google Analytics, Google Ads, Bing, Pinterest, so it works with a bunch of stuff. It's a really good plugin, but anyway, then we're going to talk about conversion tracking, so you can track conversions. We'll talk about audience sources. We'll talk about launching a campaign. So here's where we're going to go through a bunch of the different elements and we'll discuss them as we go through it. So this will probably be the longest portion of the course, or not the course, this video is launching the campaign. Then we'll talk a little bit about audiences and creating those and creating exclusions with those audiences. I think this should give you a good foundation to take you from beginner to maybe expert's a big, bold claim, but beginner to, some experience. Okay, so that's the goal, to get you feeling a little bit more comfortable launching an ad. And so let's go ahead and get into it. So here I am on my YouTube channel, and what I want to go ahead and do is connect my Google Ads account to my YouTube channel. So I want to go into my settings here, and I want to go to channel, and I want to go to advanced settings, and we see we have this Google Ads account linking. Let's go ahead and click link account. And then we can go ahead and name it. So I'm going to call it, I don't know, Google Ads. And then it asks us to add our Google Ads customer ID. So I'm going to go to my Google Ads account. And I'm going to click into here. And I think I click on help. And I see that I have my customer ID right here. So I have a MCC account, which is like a multiple campaign account. I can't remember what it stands for, management account, whatever. So I have two different IDs. But you might have one. But anyway, you grab the one that's important. So in my particular case, it's customer ID. But if you don't have a customer ID, then it's the only one you see. So if you don't have two, then it's the one you see. All right, let's come back over here to YouTube. Paste it on in there. We want to go ahead and make sure all this stuff is, connected. So view counts, remarketing engagement, etc. Right? We want to track all that type of stuff. So we come on down here and we want to come to advertisements here, and it asks us about disable interest-based ads. You want to leave this unchecked because it may reduce your revenue. So if you're trying to monetize your channel, but it also impacts your earned action reports, and remarketing lists will stop working for your channel. So remarketing, of course, is a large part of advertising. It's how you follow up with people. You might hear it called retargeting as well. Remarketing, same thing. Google calls it remarketing. Everybody else calls it retargeting. But anyway, if you check this box, then you won't be able to do remarketing. So don't check this box is my point. So double check this box while you're in here, and then we'll just go ahead and hit save. Now let's go ahead and come back over to our agenda. So now let's go ahead and add the pixel to our website here. And again, I'm gonna hard code it in this video. So let's go to Google Ads real quick and go to Tools and Settings. And I want to go to Conversions right here under Measurement. And I want to go ahead and add a conversion. And so there's several different options here. We can track website conversions, which we're gonna do here. But if you have an app or you want to track phone calls, or you're gonna go ahead and import conversions like through Google Analytics, you could go ahead and do that over here. Again, I'm just gonna keep website, keep it simple for this particular video. Again, if you want to learn more, other videos and stuff like that, or ask questions down below. So what is the action that I want to go ahead and track? So let's see what we got here. We got purchase, add to cart, begin checkout, subscribe. And then we got some different options down here like contact, submit lead form, etc. So what I want to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and do leads category and sign up. Like I'm going to be taking people to a squeeze page and tracking those opt-in conversions for my particular example. Obviously, you can go ahead and set up multiple different types of conversions and plaster them around your website, around your funnel, all that type of stuff. So, you can choose whatever makes sense. But I'm going to go with sign up here for lead category, conversion name, sign up, and I could be a little bit more specific like lead magnet name, lead. Something to that effect right there. We can go ahead and apply a value to our conversion. So use the same value for each conversion, different value, don't use a value. And I'm gonna go ahead and select use the same value for each conversion, because let's say that I know that each lead I generate tends to be worth about 50 cents. So let's plug that in here real quick. There we go, so 0.5. Count, so select how many conversions to count per click or interaction. So that means somebody could repeat this action, or in my particular case, I just want to track when they first time they opt in, like hopefully they're not opting in multiple times, right? So I'm going to do 1 click through conversion window. So this is the number of days after a person interacts with your ad. So you can select what's relevant to you. I'm just going to go with the default 30 days. View through conversion window. So this is how many days after the person views your ad. And I'm going to go with the default of 1. Include it in conversions, yes. Attribution model, last click. So you can go ahead and place this stuff to your heart's content. I'm going to leave the default settings. Now I want to go ahead and install the tag myself. So click this option here, and it gives us the instructions on how to go ahead and do that. So the first thing we need to do is add the global site tag to our website. So basically you put this on every page of your website. So you must install this tag on every page of your website. So let's go ahead and grab this code real quick. And I'm going to do this on ClickFunnels. Again, this isn't ClickFunnels tutorial, so I'm going to go pretty quick, but the concept remains the same of how to install the code. So it tells us what to do with it. So it says to put it between our head tags, and in ClickFunnels case, that's over here, head tracking code. So I paste that in here, and we see that's my Google site tag, or global site tag, I'm sorry. So right there, paste it in there. Come on down here, I'm gonna go ahead and save and update my funnel then. And then I wanna come back over here, and I gotta go ahead and add the event snippet. So the event snippet works with the global site tag to track actions that should be counted as conversions. Choose whether to track these conversions on a page load or click. So in my particular case, I'm going to track a page load. So when somebody lands on my thank you page, it'll track that conversion, right? So I'm going to go ahead and grab the snippet of code, go back over here to my funnel, load up my thank you page, and then I'll go ahead and edit my page. And then I want to come up here to settings and tracking code. And I'll come back over here and make sure I have my code. And it tells us where to put it. So between the head tags of our pages, we'd like to track right after the global site tag. So in this particular case, we can plop it in right here and close it and save it. And so there we go, just like that, I've installed the global site tag as well as the conversion event on my funnel, on my pages, whatever. Again, it's not important that I'm using ClickFunnels. The concept remains the same. You put the code in the header of your website. Okay, that's the concept that I was trying to demonstrate here. Just ClickFunnels makes it easy to show it to you. So let's come back over to our instructions here. And we just talked about conversion tracking. So now we got to go ahead and talk about audience sources. Okay, so let's come back into Google Ads now. And let's finish up our tag stuff or our conversion stuff. So done. All right, now let's go into audiences. So tools and settings. And we want to go to audience manager here. And we want to come over to audience sources on the left-hand side. And we need to go ahead and select our different audience sources. So the first thing we want to go ahead and do, of course, is connect to YouTube. So we'll go with link to YouTube. And we see that I already have a link request because I went over here. Remember when I did the settings and I linked it to my Google Ads account, that's what it did. So it sent this link request. So I'm going to go ahead and view the request. And I'm going to go ahead and approve the request. And then I can refresh my page real quick. And hopefully it updates a little bit. And all right, so it looks like it updated. So let me go ahead and close out of here real quick to go back to audience sources. And it looks like Google Ads tag has also been added here. I guess when I installed it on my page and loaded it, it knew that I was using the Google tag. So that's cool. If for some reason you don't see Google Ads tag popping up here, you should see like an option down below that says like add Google Ads tag or something like that. So you just click on like link to Google Ads tag and you should just be able to follow the steps. So the steps, if you go to details here and edit sources, it should ask you some steps like this. So for remarketing, only collect general website data, and you fill in a couple options. So the default options are good. We already installed the tag, so that should be fine. And I'll just hit cancel now. And so if you have to answer any questions, that's all there is to it. It's pretty simple, straightforward stuff. But at the end of the day, you should see Google Ads tag and YouTube. If you see both of those, awesome, you're doing right. You can now, do audience sources and all that other type of stuff. So now let's get into like the bulk of this video, which is launching the campaign. So we'll discuss a bunch of elements to go along with it. So let's back out here. Go to the campaign level real quick. And I can go ahead and create a brand new campaign right here, or I can go to campaigns in my left-hand navigation menu, and I can go ahead and create a new campaign here, and new campaign. And now it asks us to select our particular goal. So we got sales, leads, website traffic, product and brand consideration, brand awareness and reach, app promotion, or create a campaign without a goals guidance. So this is pretty simple. Pick what's relevant to your particular campaign. If you're going after sales, select sales. If you're going after leads, select leads. If you're going after traffic, select traffic. And then there's these other ones. If you want reach or brand exposure, it's a small business. You probably don't want product and brand consideration or brand awareness and reach. You're probably more targeted on conversions and stuff like that. So you'll probably stick with leads or sales or maybe traffic. But I'm going to go with leads in my particular case. And then we have to select our campaign type here. And so we have video, and this is like in-stream ads where before somebody watches another video, they see your ad. Alternatively, there are discovery ads. So these, show up under like recommended videos, or when somebody searches for a video, you could pop up at the top of the search. So there's two different ways to show your videos to people, and there's different strategies behind each. In-stream, of course, is a little bit more in your face because you pop up there and you give your sales pitch, and hopefully they click on it and go to your website and buy or opt in or whatever it is. Discovery, of course, means that they see your video, like that they can go ahead and watch it, and they watch it under their own decision, right? So they see it on the right-hand side and they click on it to watch it. So they're there by their own decision instead of you forcing it in their face. So anyway, I'm going to go with an in-stream ad. So I'm going to go ahead with video right here, and then we go with continue. And now we just follow the steps that they present to us here. They've kind of made it easier. It used to be a little bit more convoluted, but they're making it easier. All right, so campaign name, of course, name it something that's relevant to you. I want to leave it this default one for the time being. Bidding strategy, so we can go ahead and maximize conversions or target CPA. So this is cost per acquisition. So this would be cost per lead in my case. But I want to go ahead and maximize conversions. That way Google's algorithm does the heavy lifting and optimization for me. So I'm going with maximize conversions. We can go ahead and select our budget. We got daily or campaign total. So I'm just going to go with daily. But if you want to, spend, $300 in 30 days, well, you could go ahead and do that if you want to set it up that way. You can go ahead and set a start and end date if you want to. So self-explanatory stuff there. Networks down here. So we have 3 different options. So YouTube search results. So this would only appear under the discovery. So if I wanted to show up for a search result, I'd have to select that discovery campaign goal as opposed to video. And then we have YouTube videos. So that one I have to do. And then it says video partners on the display network. Turn that off. More than likely, you don't want to be displaying your ad on the display network. You want to display your ad on YouTube, right? That's why you're advertising on YouTube, is to display your ad on YouTube, not on some display network somewhere else. So I recommend unticking this box. Coming on down here, we have locations. So this is pretty self-explanatory. You can go ahead and select whatever country or locations or regions you want to go ahead and target. Now you can get kind of cool with this stuff. So you could come in here, like if you have a small business or something like that, and you want to target like a radius around your particular business, you could plug in an address right here or grid coordinates and select the radius that you want to go ahead and do. So that could be very handy. Or of course you could do location targeting, so United States, country. And we can also do exclusions here. So let's say that we don't want to target Virginia if we don't, for some reason, in the United States. So we can go ahead and exclude if we want to. So now we're targeting the United States with the exception of Virginia. So cool stuff there. You can play around with it to your heart's content. Coming on down here, we have languages then. So of course, select the language that is most relevant to you. I'm gonna go with English. And as also, you might notice on the right-hand side, it shows us our weekly available impression estimates. So you want to make sure that this is a positive number and not 0. Otherwise, your ads probably won't run if you get it down to 0. All right, coming on down here to inventory type. So we got expanded inventory, standard inventory, limited inventory, and this is basically like where your ads may show up. So expanded inventory, you might have profanity, sexual content, nudity, graphic violence. So you might not want to go there unless that's relevant to you. Standard inventory, it's a little safer. Limited inventory, moderate product profanity, moderate sexual suggestive content. So select what's relevant. You can read more about it. Pretty self-explanatory. I'm going with the recommended settings here. Coming on down here to excluded types of content. So you can go ahead and select the types of content you don't want your videos to show up on. So like you might not want it to show up on embedded YouTube videos, right? Because they might have embedded that YouTube video on some other website and you don't want your ad showing up there. Maybe you don't want live streaming videos. Maybe you don't want that. Maybe you want to untick mature audiences because those are people or videos that are showing graphic content basically, right? So you can go ahead and select what's relevant here. Of course, experiment with it. Ad extensions, we're not going to mess with that. They don't impact your YouTube ads, so there's no reason to go into it right here. Now there is additional settings, which is kind of hidden, but we want to go ahead and select into it. And we have conversions now. So we can select what type of conversions we want to go ahead and optimize for. So I'm currently optimizing for any type of conversion in my account. So use the account level conversion settings. So all the conversions in my account will count as a conversion. Or if I had multiple conversions, I could go ahead and choose what conversion I want to go ahead and optimize this particular campaign for. And so basically, if you want to optimize for any type of conversion that you're tracking, go ahead and select this option. If you want to optimize for specific conversion events, you go ahead and select this option, and it lets you select a different conversion objective in your account. So there's that. Coming on down here, devices, pretty self-explanatory stuff. But more than likely, you probably don't want to advertise to TV screens because there's no way for somebody to go to the website then and opt in or buy something. So typically, I recommend turning off TV screens unless you have a reason to advertise on TV screens, right? But I want to point that out. Also, I personally never have good results on tablets. I don't know if it's just me or anything else, but I'm going to go ahead and untick that option as well for this particular case. But maybe tablets work for you, maybe not. I don't know. All right, coming on down here, we have advanced targeting. So we can target different operating systems, device models, networks, etc. You can click in here, mess around to your heart's content. Typically just leave it wide open. Let's see, we got frequency capping now. So we can limit the number of impressions. So limit how many times the ad in this campaign can show to the same user, or cap view frequency. So limit number of times the ad in this campaign can get a view and interaction. So typically I'll limit my impression frequency to like once per day. So that way they only like see my ad once in a day instead of, you see those ads like 10 times in a day and they drive you insane. So 1 a day, or you could do, maybe 3 a week or something like that, depending on how in your face you might want to be. So you can go ahead and play with that, but 1 a day, 3, 4 a week might be good. Again, it depends on your particular methodology. Some people believe that, showing your ad as many times as humanly possible is the best way to get your conversions, in which case, maybe it is. You can test it, see what works. So anyway, I'll leave it 3 per week. You can also cap view frequency, so number of times somebody actually views the video. So that means they watch, I think it's 20 seconds. They change it. It used to be 30 seconds, but I think they reduced it down to 20, might be 15 seconds even, where they view your ad. So if you want to limit the number of times they actually watch your ad, you could go ahead and do that here. Typically, I don't do view frequency. Like if somebody wants to watch my ad, several times, I'm going to let them. Well, I mean, why not? So I usually don't do that, but I will do impression frequency, so I'm not popping up all the time in front of people that might get annoyed. All right, ad schedule. So this is pretty self-explanatory. You can go ahead and set a schedule of when you want these ads to run. So you can do all days, Monday through Friday. You can select your time range, all that type of stuff. So, you can add, different days and all that stuff. So simple, self-explanatory there. All right, now we get into ad group. And this is where you're going to do your targeting as well as create your ads. So you can go ahead and, again, there's different strategies here as well. You could target like a keyword ad group. You could target an audience ad group, a demographic ad group, a topics, a placements ad group. So a bunch of different strategies in here for how to create your ad groups and your campaigns and your structure and all that type of stuff. It's a little bit beyond the scope of this video, but I'll show you the options available in this particular video. So coming on down here, so we can get into the demographics here. So you can go ahead and select, who you want to go ahead and target. Now, the thing about Google ads or YouTube ads is like it doesn't know people as well as Facebook ads knows people, right? Because when somebody registers for Facebook, like they got to enter their name, age, phone number, all that type of personal information. And then when somebody's browsing Facebook, like they're going to be browsing their Facebook, like they're going to be logged into their Facebook and browsing their Facebook. Whereas with YouTube, at least at my house, like everybody uses my YouTube account. So I have videos for little kid stuff. I have videos for like workout stuff for my wife. I have videos on marketing stuff and cryptocurrency for me. Like it's all showing up on the same YouTube account. So my point is YouTube doesn't really know who is watching it at any given time. Like it doesn't know. So this information here is not super accurate. And I don't really recommend messing with it, honestly, because again, YouTube doesn't really know who's watching things and all that type of stuff. So I don't mess with it, but if you want to play with it, there's these options down here. Pretty self-explanatory: gender, age, parental status, household income. But again, how does Google know who's watching what? I don't think that they do. And now before we get into audiences, I want to go ahead and address something real quick. So at the ad group level, this is where you go ahead and set your targeting like I already discussed. But typically what you want to do in an ad group is only do like one of these things. Like you could do demographics for all your ad groups, but then audiences, keywords, topics, placements, like usually you don't want to stack those things together because it's like an and statement. So it's this audience and it impacts this relevant keyword and this topic and this placement. So you can get too narrow if you start stacking a bunch of stuff in here and you might not know like what's working or what isn't working. So per each ad group is when you typically want to go ahead and target like a particular audience or a particular set of keywords or a particular topic or particular placements or something like that. So I just wanted to address that real quick while we're here. I'm thinking about it. But anyway, into audiences now, so we can poke around here. So I'm going to go to browse because it's the easiest way to explain it. So there's who they are, and this is, basically up here on the demographic information. So you can select it up here or down here, and so that's that. That's simple enough to understand. But then we get into affinity or custom affinity, as well as in-market, life events, and custom intent. So there's kind of two types of audiences that like you can build within Google or YouTube. So there's custom affinity, and then there's custom intent. So affinity and intent. Affinity is a very broad audience, like millions of people, sometimes billions of people are inside of an affinity audience. As a small business, I don't recommend using affinity audiences. They're for massive businesses that want a lot of exposure and a lot of reach and all that type of stuff. Small businesses, affinity audiences are just too large. It's too hard to optimize affinity audiences, so I don't recommend affinity audiences. Intent audiences, on the other hand, they're similar to an affinity audience. Let me click in here. Sorry. So basically, it's different categories, right? So banking and finance, beauty, wellness, food, dining. You can click into it and you can see different subcategories as well, and then subcategories. So, you could come in here and click. You have coffee shop regulars, and say you want to target them. As a custom affinity audience, like, it's going to be massive, 540 million people. Like, that's way too big, right? But then you have custom intent or in-market audiences, and they work similarly. They're targeting like a category. So you could come in here and let's see here. So I don't know, we just did food or something, but we'll just go with dating services, or I don't know. Sorry, going quick. So, it's a little bit more specific is what I'm trying to say. Is custom affinity really broad, custom intent is a lot more specific. Small businesses can use custom intent, in my opinion. Now you can also go ahead and create your own custom audiences, and I'll have another video probably on that because that goes down another rabbit hole. But yeah, so you can create custom intent audiences where you go in there and you plug in like keywords. So you add search terms, so you could add different keywords that are relevant to people searching for products and services in your niche, right? So custom intent versus custom affinity. That's the big picture. Is affinities massive, intent much more specific, and better for small businesses. So that's a key thing I wanted to point out here. Coming on down here, we have how they interacted with your business. So these are remarketing and similar audiences. So this is another good audience to target, of course, is people that have interacted with you through remarketing and so on. Or also there's similar audiences. So basically Google will create an audience of people that look like people that are on one of your remarketing lists. So you have people that watch whatever video, and you have 10,000 people that watch that video, and then you can create a similar audience of people that look like people that watch that video, and then you can advertise that video to them. So that's a great way to kind of scale your advertising efforts. And then there's combined audiences, so you can go ahead and combine them based off of different elements like pages they've visited or actions they've taken or videos they've watched and all sorts of stuff. So anyway, audience targeting can be very powerful. Again, this is where you do your remarketing stuff, and you can do some fancy stuff with combined audiences. Again, these are different rabbit holes, not going to go into right now. Keyword targeting. So this is where I recommend most small businesses start. Keyword targeting plus retargeting or remarketing. So remarketing plus keyword targeting, that's perfect for small businesses and YouTube ads in my personal experience. So keywords, pretty simple. You plug in the keywords that are relevant to, the product you're selling or service you're selling, or, your business or your market or the video you want people to watch. So you plug in some keywords in here. It's pretty self-explanatory, like sales, funnels. Plug that in there. It'll go ahead and update my weekly available impressions, and then, so 220 million. So that's pretty broad, but, there could be some more narrowing to go on. But anyway, you plug in some keywords here, pretty simple, self-explanatory. And the best part about keywords is that you can optimize for the keywords. Like you can see which keywords are working, which ones aren't working, increase budgets, decrease budgets, turn on, turn off. So I like keywords a lot because there's a lot of room for optimizing those keywords. And it also gives Google a lot of room to optimize as well with their auto optimization. So that's keywords. Pretty handy. Topics. I never use topics. I think it's a lot like affinity audiences. Very broad. You see it's based on categories. So, who knows how accurate this stuff is. Again, too broad. It's very hard to optimize for topics in my experience. So I don't use them. But if you want to play with them, by all means. And then we have placements. So this is where you could go ahead and tell Google or YouTube what other YouTube channels you want to show up on. So this could be quite handy, of course. Like if you want to show up on different channels or different videos, you could go ahead and tell Google, hey, I want to be on these channels and these videos. That's where I want my ads to be shown. Now, one thing to note about that is the channel that you want ads to show on has to be monetized. So if the channel you want to show your ads on isn't monetized, like your ads aren't going to show on that channel. So that's one thing to note. Make sure that the channel or video you're trying to show up on is monetized. And then another thing to note is if it's a popular video and you think a lot of people are targeting this video, like your bids are going to be expensive. It's going to be a lot more money to get people to, watch your video and all that type of stuff, or watch your ad. So two things to be mindful of when you're targeting channels and particular videos right there. But anyway, it's pretty self-explanatory. So you could go ahead and throw a URL to a channel in here, or a particular video ID. So you just come over to YouTube and you find your channel that you want to go ahead and target, or your, let's see, hey, here's my other channel. Let's come over here. So I'll pop up in this and I'll grab it and come back in here. So I'm gonna throw it in here, and I see that I have YouTube channels as one, and here it is. So now my ads will show on the YouTube channel, Becoming a Data Scientist. And the same concept works with individual videos. So you could throw individual video links in here, or you could go ahead and create a list of channels and videos you want to show up on, paste that list in here, and take care of it much easier if you want to do that. So those are like the targeting options. Again, I recommend only doing like one per ad group. So either do your audience or keywords or topics or placements in each ad group, so that we can see what's working. But if you really want to go ahead and stack things together, by all means, go for it. It's your campaign, your advertising efforts, your dollar. So do whatever you feel is the right thing to do. Then we get on down here to ads. So creating an ad is pretty simple. Again, in this particular video, I'm creating an in-stream ad. But discovery ads work pretty similarly. So let me go ahead and grab a video. Now your video, just a side note, you have to upload it to your channel, right? So that way you can pull it into your Google Ads account. But you can keep it unlisted. So unlisted videos will work as ads. So that way you're not uploading like ads to your channel. You just upload them as unlisted, and you can run them as an ad. Okay. Or you can also run public videos as ads as well. So either one is fine. Private doesn't work as an ad, but unlisted and public do. All right, I think that's good enough. All right, get shareable link. And then you just come in here and you paste it in here. And then we see video ad format right here. So skippable in-stream ad. And then if I had selected different options for my campaign goal, like it might say a discovery ad or a bumper ad or something like that, you can click on this little question mark here and do learn more to learn how to do these other ad formats if you want to. So if you're more interested in discovery ads, bumper ads, etc., you can learn more there. But the process is the same no matter which type you're doing. It more depends on, like, some of it's the length of your video, and some of it is just selecting different campaign goals when you set up your campaign. So it's not too complicated. All right, now we go ahead and throw in like the URL we want people to go to. So you add that in there real quick, and the display URL will automatically fill in. You can go ahead and modify it if you want to, or leave it as what it is. Call to action, so this is that little blue button that appears on the video, and you can switch to see what it looks like in a desktop view as well. So you can be like, okay, that looks okay. Go ahead, click here. And notice you only have 10 characters for these call to action buttons, so you're pretty limited in these things, but yeah, you can make it work. Learn more, click here, things like that, fit. And then we have headline, which is right here. So it says Crazy Eye Marketing Demo. Of course, I'd probably want to change that, but note we only have 15 characters for our headline, which is pretty small, and sometimes you gotta, rack your brain to figure out a good headline to suck people in. So, and one other thing to note is Google is very picky when it comes to capitalization and punctuation and things like that. Like throwing in a bunch of exclamation points doesn't work on Google. Even using one sometimes makes them mad and they don't launch your ad. So I recommend not using any sort of crazy punctuations, exclamation marks, dollar signs, anything like that, because it oftentimes is a red flag to Google and they want to approve your ad. So just want to point that out real quick. And then we have companion banner, which is only on the computer. So if we come over to desktop, right here is going to be a companion banner up at the top here. And so Google will automatically generate one of these using your channel banner. So if you have a channel banner that you like and you want, featured up here, by all means go ahead and do that. Alternatively, you can go ahead and upload a custom image of one. Now note the size is 300 by 60 pixels, so it's kind of a weird size, but anyway, you can go ahead and make it and have it more unique call to action to the offer you're making in your ad. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it the default. You can go ahead and name your ad if you want to, and then you just go to create campaign. And so there we go, congratulations, your campaign is ready. And it gives us a little overview of our campaign settings, and we can check it out if we want to. I'm gonna go ahead and continue to campaign. And now I'm in my campaign, and there's a couple other options I could go ahead and manipulate while I'm here. So for example, if I wanted to go ahead and change my keywords around, I could come in here and add keywords if I want to, or remove keywords, or turn on or off keywords, or increase budgets of keywords. I could also add negative keywords, so if I find that my videos are showing up on channels that I don't like, I could go ahead and add negative keywords to try and get my videos to not show up on those different channels. Same concept applies with audiences, so you can select different audiences, add different audiences, etc., and you can go ahead and exclude them. And we're actually going to talk about that in just a second here with this audiences stuff, so we can cover that. Same concept with demographics, same with placements, topics, locations, etc. So you could come in here and adjust things after you've gone live with your campaign. That's what I'm trying to show you, is everything that you did to set up your campaign is available after you set up your campaign. And actually there's a few additional options, like all these exclusions and stuff. You can't really do it when you're setting up your campaign, like you can't do negative keywords when you're setting up your campaign. However, once your campaign has been launched, you can come in here and set up negative keywords and audiences and exclusions and stuff. So you can do a few extra things once your campaign is finally live. So this is where you go ahead and you do all of that type of stuff. But let's go ahead and finish this video out by talking about some audiences real quick. So let's go to Tools and Settings, and we'll go to Audience Manager. And I just want to talk to you about creating remarketing audiences, and also so you can exclude audiences, because audience is a big deal, remarketing, retargeting, and excluding people that have already purchased from you. You want to go ahead and do that type of stuff. So here I am under the remarketing section, and we just click plus, and it gives us a few options like website visitors, app users, YouTube users, customer list, and custom combination. I want to talk about website visitors and YouTube users in this video, but if you need more information, let me know. All right, so website visitors, it's pretty self-explanatory. Let me just call this one customers. So I want to exclude my customers from my advertising efforts, so I'm going to create an audience of all my customers. Also, I might want to use a similar audience of my customers. Remember, similar audience is an audience that looks like my remarketing audience that I've created. So if I have a list of customers and Google creates a similar audience of people that look like my customers, that could be a good audience to target, right? So customers is a good audience to have. Leads is a good audience to have as well. Actually, let me go with leads since I'm doing a lead campaign. So we'll stick with that same topic. So leads, visitors of a page who also visited another page, visitors of a page who did not visit another page, visitors of a page during specific dates, visitors of a page with specific tags. So a lot of options here. I'm gonna go with visitors of a page. And then I want to come over to my funnel here and grab the URL of my thank you page. And I come down here to visited page, and I can match any rule group or match every rule group. So select what's relevant here. We got a few options: page URL, referral, contains, equals, starts with, ends with, etc. So I'm just doing page URL contains, and then my thank you page path. And if you've had your pixel installed on your website and you've had some traffic going through it, hopefully you see some information over here. If you just set things up and you don't see any information, well, that makes sense. But if it's been running a while and you don't see information, then maybe something's a little funky with your setup. All right, coming on down here, we have pre-fill options. So we can pre-fill our list with people who match the rules within the past 30 days. So this is kind of nice because maybe you're like, oh shoot, I should have made an audience of my leads. So now you can create an audience of your leads, and it'll look back 30 days, assuming you've had your pixel on your website for those 30 days, and it'll pull those people in. So you automatically start with an audience of the people in the last 30 days. So that's pretty handy. I'm gonna go ahead and use that, but if you want to start with the empty list, you could do that as well. Membership duration, so how long do people want to stay on this audience? I'll just say 30 days for now, and then we could add an additional description if we want to. So if you need more details or information, you could go ahead and do that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and throw in 30 days in my audience name, so I know that these are leads from the last 30 days. Come down here, create audience. And so that's how you go ahead and create a remarketing audience based off of your website. Now let's do it for YouTube users real quick. So we can do, subscribers. Create an audience list of our subscribers. And so we have different options here. So viewed any video from channel, viewed certain videos, viewed any video as an ad from a channel, viewed certain videos as ads, subscribed to channel, visited a channel page, liked any video from a channel, added any video from a channel to a playlist, shared any video from a channel. So a lot of different options here. So there's a lot of flexibility. So if you want to target people that have watched your videos and try and get them to subscribe, you could go ahead and do something like that. Or you could go ahead and retarget people that are subscribers and so on. So there's a bunch of options is the point. It's pretty simple to understand. I'm just going to go with subscribe to channel, and then I go ahead and select my YouTube channel, which it automatically did. I can go ahead and pre-fill it just like previously, and then membership duration. So I'll just say subscribers, and I'm going to expand this one to 540 days. So I want basically all my subscribers. And all right, cool, I'm happy with that. I'll go ahead and hit create. All right, so cool, I have my 2 remarketing audiences of subscribers and leads, and I want to go ahead and do an exclusion real quick. That's what I want to go ahead and do. So let's come into my campaigns and pop open my campaign, and then I want to come into audiences, and I'll go to exclusions, and I'll add an audience exclusion, and I'll go ahead and browse. Actually, I'll search. So I'll search for my lead audience. So leads in the last 30 days I want to exclude from this campaign. So I'll go ahead and save it now. And there, just like that, I'm excluding anyone that's already become a lead from this campaign, so that way I'm not advertising to people that are already leads, right? So that's my goal objective here. And so that covers everything I wanted to discuss in this video here. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask down below. I've also shot some other YouTube related videos, so if you wanted to go into more detail on anything, check out those videos, or again, ask below. I'll shoot more videos, so that no problem there. If you found this video helpful, I appreciate any sorts of likes, comments, subscribes, anything like that, and I hope that you have a great rest of the day.